And it's a wonderful analogy. One of my clients was telling me the story of he was sitting in a park waiting for someone, and while he was there, he was sitting on the bench and he was watching people go by, and he noticed that he had a story about every single one of them, and he noticed that a lot of his stories were critical, and it was really an enlightenment moment for him, because he said, wait a minute, why am I doing this? You know, I don't really believe in this. This isn't how I want to live. This isn't how I want to be. And he made a choice at that moment to drop his stories and to drop his judgment. So it may sound like an oversimplification, Ray. However, it truly, fundamentally is as simple. Simple doesn't mean easy, but it's as simple as making a choice.
You know, one of the things that I have used is the intent to protect, or the intent to learn to love.
Great.
And they say that you're always in one or the other. And this intent to protect is such an intriguing thing, because we do so many things, including judging, which is our protection. You know, we're as good or better or whatever, we're making a comparison as we judge between that person and ourselves. So to get out of the intent to protect our egos and into to the intent to learn to love is a big step.
It is. So just to clarify, what Marty means when she's saying protect is what I call defend. So defense, we have raise your shields. You know, it's time to raise the shields. And so many of us go through life with our shields raised. And we aren't even aware, because they've been in there so long. So we can even love our shields. We can even love our defense system. And most of our stories ultimately are defense systems. Most of our behaviors ultimately are defense systems. So why beat ourselves up for them? Instead, we can learn to love them by recognizing that our defense systems are there for good reasons, and that maybe we were hurt, and that maybe things weren't safe. And we can thank those defense systems and say, thank you for all the hard work that you've put in. Even our judgments, you know, thank you very much for having been there and doing your best to protect me all this time. It's now time for you to retire. You know, where would you like to go for your retirement? Because I am sending you off on a bus or an airplane, and you're going to have a wonderful life by yourself without me. Thank you again for all your service. I don't need you anymore, and I am choosing now to live with an open heart and to be vulnerable. What's the opposite of defended? The opposite of defended is vulnerable. And to be vulnerable is to truly, it's like, I always think of animals and the soft belly of the animal, and the animal lies and exposes its belly. Like, what if we could go through life that way, to be that open, to have our hearts open? That's a choice that I make every single day of my life. Now it's become automatic. It wasn't in the beginning. It needed to be consciously made and remade and remade. And when I would notice myself defending, I would say, well, which would I rather have? Would I rather take a risk to love? And yes, I might get hurt. I certainly have been in the past. However, the defense system feels so awful to me that when I say it's now become automatic, it's not because I made it a should. It's because it's what serves me. It's because it feels so wonderful to have my heart open and to love and to trust and to continue to choose to trust no matter what. And no matter how many times I get hurt, which is really, we don't get hurt, it's our story about what happened. That's what is the direct cause of the pain. What happened is the indirect cause of the pain. The story that we're telling ourselves is the direct cause. No matter how many times bad things happen, it's still worth it to me to wake up with my heart open and being vulnerable and being willing to love. As soon as there's the defense system, the shield, there's a separation between me and you, right? So there isn't an opportunity for me to really know you, for me to really be fully present with you. This shield is like a mirror. I might think I'm talking to you, but I'm really talking to me, because my energy, my being, my expression is bouncing off of this mirror and bouncing back at me. I don't even see you or hear you until I'm fully vulnerable, until I'm fully present and open. I'm blocking out my experience. I'm blocking out my capacity to be with another human being fully present. So there is choices, and we can make those choices consciously or unconsciously. If we make them unconsciously, chances are they result in defense system, which is, again, what most of our stories are from, is defense. So you may have heard the expression, that fear is the opposite of love. And that's really what Marty's bringing up, is that we can love or we can be afraid. If we're afraid, we put our shields up. If we choose to release that, we can choose love. And love doesn't judge, right? So Ray, if you're sitting and going around the room and your heart is fully open and you're choosing to love, those stories will tend to fall away of their own accord, and you'll replace them with stories of love. These are a story of love. Jim was with me. My son and daughter-in-law just flew out from San Diego to be, and they don't have much money. It touches my heart, you know, and they came out to be with me and my 98-year-old dad, and they brought me this set of pearls to show me how much they love me, and I haven't taken them off since. So, you know, we never know what our stories are, but what if we imagine that all our stories were stories of love? You know, so we can choose that. I can hear you and I can imagine your pain or your suffering or what you've been through, and I can open my heart, or I can imagine okay, I'm thinking this and picturing this. I don't want to picture anything. I want to be in the unknowing.